Salvete! Welcome back, Latin scholars. My name is Stephen. I'm a Latin and theology teacher. And if you watched my last video, I tried to teach you 5 ecclesiastical Latin phrases that I thought could be useful in your daily life. And today, I want to teach you some more. I got a bunch of feedback, good response from people who wanted to learn some more. So, God willing, here we go. The first one, I want to continue our conversation. So I taught you last time to say salve, hello, or salvete in the plural. And to continue that conversation, you would often ask, how are you doing in English? How are you? And to say that in Latin, you would say in the singular, quomodo te habes? Quomodo te habes? And if you listen closely, you'll hear the inflection at the end. There are a lot of ways to ask questions in Latin, but this is really the simplest. It's just to put that inflection at the end. Quomodo te habes? To do it in the plural, you would ask, salvete, quomodo vos habetis? Then to respond, number 2, to respond in Latin, you would say, if you're doing well, you would say, me bene habeo. I have myself well, literally. Me bene habeo. If you have ever studied any modern Romance languages, you know in some of them they continue to do the same thing since they come from Latin, continue to say it in that way. I have myself well. Me bene habeo. If you're not doing well, if you're sick, for example, you would say, me male habeo. The third one I want to try to teach you is one of my favorite Latin maxims. I love Latin maxims. You got a little taste of that last time. And this one is magnum in parvo. Magnum in parvo. And what that literally means is the great in the small. Or you could think of it as greatness in small things. Magnum in parvo. That reminds me of something Jesus said in Luke chapter 16, verse 10, where he said, he who is faithful in the smallest things is also faithful in that which is greater. And he who is dishonest in small matters is also dishonest in great ones. You know, a lot of people, maybe even all of us, you know, we all want to be heroes, which I think is good. It's a great thing. We all want to be, you know, kind of save the world. But nobody wants to change the toilet paper roll. You know, nobody wants to clean up the trash that somebody else dropped or do, you know, a lot of the little hidden dirty work. But those great deeds, the magnificent deeds, don't really come out of nowhere. The martyrs, for example, it's not like they lived a totally selfish life up until that moment where they were able to give their life and suffer and be tortured to death for Christ. It was kind of the cap on a life of generous giving and sacrifice. It reminds me also of a story, I think last video I told a story of Mother Teresa, or used her as an example. Another story from her life, she went to go visit one of the houses of her sisters, as she tried to do all the time. And when she went in, they were giving her a tour of the house, and she went down in the basement and went into the bathroom and inspected the bathroom. And she got down and was looking carefully at the toilets. And she got up with a huge smile on her face and said, "Some sister really loves Jesus." And why did she say that? Because she knew that it's really in the small things that greatness is found, especially great love. That some sister loved Jesus so much and loved Jesus in the poor and wanted to give them that dignity of having a clean toilet, that she gave it her all, even though it was a little hidden, disgusting job, and really scrubbed that toilet super clean. So, magnum in parvo. If you want to make a difference and you want to become great, the little things. Focus on the little things with great love. The fourth one, number 4, is Festina lente. Festina lente. And what that means literally is make haste slowly. Festina, imperative singular, make haste or hurry. Lente, slowly. Sounds like gibberish, but it's not. It actually comes from a lot of these great Latin maxims actually come from the ancient Greeks. The Romans took a lot of their wisdom from the ancient Greeks and their wisdom. And it really is a great thought. It's symbolized in a lot of old art in different creative ways. For example, this anchor with a dolphin wrapped around it. And it was used by a lot of people in the past, including one of my favorite saints, Saint Maximilian Maria Kolbe. He was really fond of using this as kind of a motto for himself and teaching his friars this motto. And why? What does it mean? Well, have you ever noticed that when you're running late for something and you're really in a big hurry and you're rushing around like a chicken with your head cut off? Let's say, for example, for me, I've been running late for work, and so I'm frantically rushing around, and I get out the door and I'm driving really fast, and then I get halfway there or even arrive all the way at work and realize I left my briefcase at home. Because I was so frantic, I didn't pay enough attention to bring my briefcase, and so I had to actually go back and get it or have my family come bring it to me or something, and end up being later than if I had just calmly thought about what I was doing. So the next time we're in a big hurry, instead of running around frantically like a chicken with our heads cut off, maybe we should just pretend we're at the beach. Festina lente. Number 5, we have Matthew chapter 15, verse 13. Another quote from Jesus. Omnis plantatio qua non plantavit pater meus celestis eradicabitur. Omnis plantatio qua non plantavit pater meus celestis eradicabitur. And what that literally means is every plant or every plantation, literally everything that is planted or has been planted, which my heavenly Father has not planted, will be eradicated, which literally means will be ripped up from the roots. And what's the significance of that? I love that word, eradicabitur. What's the significance of ripped up from the roots? It means not only will it be removed, but all of its roots ripped out so that it will never come back. It doesn't have anything that'll pop back up again, no seeds, nothing. It's just totally ripped out forever. It won't last. And this makes me think of a lot of different things, but I think two most of all. The first being the importance of seeking God's will. We can work really hard to do this and that, our own will to try to do this and that, be successful in this thing or that thing, but ultimately, if we don't know what God's will is, if we don't know that that's best for us and for our salvation or for others and their salvation, it might end up being all for naught. And if it's not God's will, he's going to rip it up from the roots and plant what he wants. So ultimately, we should seek God's will because he's the one who's omniscient. He's the one who's all-loving. He's the one who's all-powerful. And ultimately, it's his will that's going to last. And the second thing it reminds me of is the fact that I don't need to worry. We shouldn't worry. We know who wins in the end. God wins in the end. The Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Immaculate Heart of Mary, they will triumph in the end. Today, at least where I live especially, but also in the world, it often seems like like evil's winning. It looks like, evil and corruption, they just keep triumphing over and over again in politics or whatever it might be. And it can get kind of, the temptation is to get down or depressed or overwhelmed sometimes. And it's important to be reminded that God wins. We know who wins in the end. Everything will be okay. We're in good hands. And ultimately, omnis plantatio qua non plantavit pater meus celestis eradicavitur. So I hope that has been helpful for you, given you some seeds, something to use in your daily life. Please let me know, again, if you have any suggestions. I got a great suggestion from somebody who asked me to make a rosary in Latin video, which I did. I just put that out. So check that out if you want to pray the rosary in Latin. Pray for me and I'll pray for you. Oremus pro invicem.